All right, here with Coach Cooper after a big win over SIUE. TSU is now 18-3 at home during the past 2 seasons, and now extend their win streak at home to 6 games. Coach, opening statement.
Well, I told our team it reminded me of a Big Ten game. You know, the score was a low-scoring game, and typically we obviously like to play the game in the 70s or the 80s. A lot of that can be attributed to SIUE. I thought from a defensive standpoint, from a toughness standpoint, they're one of the tougher teams we've played. Just to have the mental capacity to guard you, to guard the basketball, and not make it comfortable for you. So I thought a lot of times their physicality was a lot better than our offense. Conversely, on the defensive end, we were able to do some things also to them that they struggled with. So, you know, as we went into halftime, I wasn't disappointed. I was disappointed, obviously, in our offensive production, but we'd only given up 24 points. So if we could get better offensively, get more continuity to our offense, we struggled with Rob Covington and Kenny Moore both being in foul trouble. So not only Pat Miller gets 2 fouls also. So now you're talking about 3 of our better offensive players not being able to play. And it really, for our rotations, it really took us out of a groove. So we were able to weather that. And then in the second half, I thought we did a better job of, one, getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line a little bit more. We were able to knock down some key buckets. Kellen Thornton hits a key bucket. Jay Harris hits a key bucket. Pat Miller, we come out of a timeout, they go zone. Pat Miller is able to drive the zone and get an and-one to put us up. So I thought there were some things that we did pretty good on the defensive end. We hold them to 33% shooting. We out-rebound them by 13. So from the perspective of a coach, it's an ugly game from the offensive end. But from my perspective, it's a game that I can take a lot from that will help us and will continue leading us to the right path, because defensively, we were able to stay in the game with our defense, with our ability to get stops, our ability to rebound. And if we can do a better job, and too many turnovers, 17 turnovers, so at home you get away with that, on the road you get beat, so we've got to cut our turnovers down. But all in all, I'll take an ugly victory anytime over a pretty defeat.
Now, in the past, we've talked about, having depth, having, quite a few guys on the team that can do a lot of different things. Obviously, you had 3 gentlemen who got in foul trouble early, getting those 2 fouls right away. Can you speak on, the rest of the team that were able to, keep the game within distance, be able to go in there and, do things like that?
I mean, I thought a couple guys stepped up, but first, it's interesting this year. Last year we played with 7 guys. The year before that, we're playing with 6 or 7. So now we have depth, and as you watch the course of that game, and especially in the last 5 minutes, they look tired. And we were tired, but they also look fatigued. And so when you look at Will Peters, Pat Miller, and Rob Covington, there were a couple times those guys needed breaks. And I told them in one of the timeouts, you guys have been here the past couple of years. You understand how you have to play through fatigue and how you have to get it done. So, you want a breather, so what? At this point, it's the part of the game you've got to be able to figure out and get it done for us. Having said that, Kellen Thornton comes in for us. He doesn't play much in the first half, but plays well in the second half and gives us some really good minutes, along with MJ Red, who ends up with 11 rebounds. And it was no secret that, Kellen Thornton didn't play last game and, weren't quite on the same page, although I always say there's no such thing as not being on the same page as the head coach. You have to be on my page, but he's able to put that behind him. He doesn't play a lot of minutes in the first half, and then he comes out in the second half, and he's ready when his number is called. So it's called getting yourself lost in the game and being selfless and not selfish. And so when your number's called, you're ready to play. And I thought that's what he did, and so he stepped up and he really helped us.
And you touched a little bit about MJ, obviously doing, a lot of good things on the board, and really got in there and was really fighting and, kind of speaking on them. And there were a couple times where also I'd like to speak a little bit about, some of your smaller guards.
Right.
And they were going up against some of the bigger guys, sometimes underneath and just fighting like crazy.
Well, on MJ, what's funny is you look at our lineup. I mean, we're starting 2 freshmen, we're starting a sophomore and a junior, and we have 1 senior. So at the end of the day, we've got guys out there that haven't been through it. But MJ Rhett has the ability to go rebound the basketball. He got 11 rebounds in 27 minutes. And he's got to get better offensively. But what I know as a coach is if you can get rebounds take care of a lot of problems. So he was able to step up. He was able to do that. And then we talk about running the court through the course of the game. So if it's just one layup you get, it's the big one. He continues to run the court late in the game. He gets a pitch ahead. He's standing right under the rim. He gets a dunk. Those hurt you. Those break your back. The guards, I call Jay Harris. I call him a little bit. That's my nickname for him. But, I mean, we're small at the guard spot. That's the lineup we've gone to now for the past, 3 games with the small group. But you know what's funny? I don't worry about them when they get switched on post defenders because actually they compete their tails off. And they get after it, and they push, they get thrown around. But there's some competitive little suckers, and they get after it. And so I'm actually pretty comfortable when they get switched. And our guys know that, we've got to help them. But that's why it's called a team game, and that's why you can't be selfish. That's why you can't be worried about what you're doing. You've got to know that if you get beat off the dribble, if you get beat, if your man backdoor cuts you, that there's a teammate there that's there to pick you up and to help you out defensively. And when we get the whole understanding of team defense, it's 5 guys moving together, helping each other, and everyone seeing what's going on, then you become a really tough team to score against, and you become a really tough team mentally. And we've gotten much better. We'll continue to get better. We'll continue to work on it. And there'll be games when we may not be as good defensively to where our offense will have to pick us up. But fortunately, you're going to have a lot more games to where your defense can pick you up than your offense. And tonight, that was one of the games. Our defense picked us up.
Speaking a little bit, quick turnaround. And it's going to be a nice little trip up to face Austin Peay on Monday.
Yeah.
And
welcome to my job. That's why they pay me the big bucks, right? So, how do I get this group ready? We have 1 day, and we have to go play a rival school, which is right up the road at Austin Peay. 45 minutes up the road. And, one of the things is tomorrow, I won't be able to give them much. It's what I call a mental practice. What I'll try to do is I'll try to get them rested as much as possible, while also making sure that they're locked into what we need to do defensively and what to expect. And we'll get up a few shots, and it'll be pretty laid back. But what I always ask our team is when we go through this and we have quick turnarounds, one, if you ever want to get in postseason play, this is what it's like. There's a day off in between. If you ever get to the tournament, it's Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Sunday. So no big deal. You have to figure out a way to do it. But secondly, it'll speak to our maturity. Can we get ready mentally? Do we understand that tonight, just maybe tonight, can't go out and hang out late at night. Maybe I've got to get my rest, get my legs up, get well, get a lot of fluids in me, and get ready so that I can handle something that's a little bit bigger. There's plenty of nights to have fun in college. Trust me, I had a few. But this group has done pretty well. But we've got to go on the road, and as of right now, I don't think there's anyone that's won a road game in the league today, on tonight. And so all the home teams have played and won. And it speaks to the difference between football, baseball, and basketball. Because basketball, the visiting team rarely wins. And so when you get them, that's why coaches are so excited. But we'll have to get ready to play, and we'll have to defend. We'll have to do the things we did tonight defensively, but we'll have to make shots. We'll have to cut down on our turnovers. And then hopefully we can, figure out a way to win, and we'll see.
Coach, thank you very much.
Oh, you're easy.